So here's a little tip for you guys having trouble getting exhaust manifold bolts out that are rusted in place real good. So this is an 88 Chevy 1500. It's got right about 400,000 miles on it. And yeah, these bolts are stuck. When I tell you they're stuck, I broke two off the other day being impatient. And I finally decided to go inside and figure out what I need to do. And the tip to getting these off is the day before you're planning on doing this, get you some PP blaster, whatever your penetrant of choice is, and spray the bolts. But where you spray them at, you need to spray it right there where the actual bolt meets the manifold, and then spray back where the manifold meets the head, because you've got in here, the corrosion always happens in this sleeve, but you need to free that corrosion up, and since it's at an angle like that, you got to get penetrant up on top of it to go down those holes. So let that sit for a day. Do that to all of them the night before. Let it sit and come back the next morning, and you need to start the truck up if you can. In this case, I was able to start mine up and let it run, let it get the temperature. And this process is heat cycles, because you have all that corrosion in there and you have to break that corrosion up. The only way you're going to do it is by getting it hot and shocking it. And you let it heat up, and you take, whether you get an air hammer, I use the ball peen hammer because can't get an air hammer up in here, and you hit the end of the bolt like this. You hit it, and you hit every single one of them pretty good a couple times. Go back around, do it again, and while the engine's running, I like to put more PP blaster on it. It'll smoke, but that heat, the expanding, gives it more room to get in and help all that blaster get down into the manifold where it needs to get. So let it do that, let it get up to temperature, tap them a little bit, and I actually took my air hammer and I hit the manifold here and all along here, right on the very top where it meets with the head. So I hit them all right there a couple times, beat them pretty good with the air hammer, and then turn the truck off. Now don't try to break them loose yet. Once the truck is off, keep hitting them. Keep hitting them with the hammer. You need to shock all that corrosion as much as possible. And once you've done that, let it cool down a little bit, 120 degrees, and heat it back up again. Let it get up to operating temperature. And then I used a 12-inch breaker bar with a 14mm 6-point socket. That's the important part. Use a 6-point. And all these bolts broke loose, like easy as could be. It was just one little click and they all came loose. And none of them broke off with that method. I do have two broke off from the other day when I just hammered on it with a breaker bar. Don't ever use an impact wrench, because they will break off. So yeah, now that you've done that, they should all come out easy. I have one here, it might still be hot. This, I broke it loose with my breaker bar, took an air ratchet, zipped it right out. Pretty perfect. You can see where all that penetrant was getting down in those threads. And when you go to install your new ones, I like to put aluminum anti-seize on them. And yeah, hopefully this helps you guys out a little bit.